So you can actually see the PDF, right? Word document. The Word document is visible. Okay. So we will just start. Okay. So guys, this particular. Okay. Anusha, is it breaking now? Am I audible now? I have really no idea because even why this is happening.
ಸ್ನೇಹ ಎಂದ ಸಿನಿಮಾ ಎಂದ ಸಿನಿಮಾ ಸಿನಿಮಾ
Okay, guys, let me just try once again. Am I audible now? Is it still breaking? Meeting disconnected. My God. Guys, is it audible now? There is definitely some there is definitely some issue with the Wi-Fi, guys. Because even yesterday, after your lecture, I had another lecture, but there was no concerns in that particular batch. So definitely, I think there is some issue with the Wi-Fi there. I hope it's working. It's audible now, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, done. Done. So I'll just see. I have actually turned off your video, so I am not able to see because I thought maybe okay, if it is a problem with my network, then I'll just stop the incoming video and see if everything goes well. But I don't think there is any network issue here. This because, like I said before, yesterday I had another batch and that was perfectly fine. So I think there is some issue with the Wi-Fi connection. So let's see. If my voice breaks, please do let me know. You can just leave me a WhatsApp message or even in chat box or wherever. Okay. So I'll just start. And you see, do let me know because I won't know that I'm getting stuck. So I will just continue. So if there is any issue, please do leave me a message. Fine. Shall we start?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, done. So this is actually a very important unit. This is IMA Code of Ethics and Fraud Triangle. You can expect essay questions from this particular part. They will test this part in multiple ways actually. So here there are certain standards or principles which you are supposed to follow as a certified management accountant. So we are actually going to talk about those. So in America, they have actually faced various issues when it comes to ethics. So that's when they developed IMA, that means Institute of Management Accountants, developed Code of Ethics, and that is known as IMA's Statement of Ethical Professional Practice. Okay, IMA, Statement of Ethical Professional Practice. So, statement was adopted in, in the current form, whatever I'm going to teach you now, it basically came into picture in 2017. So, being a certified management accountant, you have to follow these standards and these principles. And IMA wouldn't appreciate in case if you violate any of these principles. And there are okay, in the next particular paragraph I will teach you later on. So first and foremost, we will just start with the principles. So you can actually use the code form HFRO. So there are 4 principles: honesty, fairness, objectivity, responsibility. There are 4 principles. You have to learn what are those. Okay, H for honesty, F for fairness, O for objectivity, R for responsibility. Okay, so here the first one, honesty. Honesty means you have to be truthful, you have to be trustworthy. Okay, by being honest means you basically you're telling the truth. Okay, whatever you know, you're telling the truth. Okay, you are not lying in anything. So it is the ability of being upright, or being sincere, or being frank, and you're not going to do anything to deceive somebody, to cheat somebody. So that is honesty. Honesty means truthfulness and trustworthiness. The second principle is fairness. Fairness means you have to be impartial. And that means, yesterday we did learn about fairness. So you have to be impartial, you have to be free from bias, you free from not just bias, you have to be free from dishonesty and injustice as well. So you have to be just, equitable, and impartial. That is fairness. So we learned this yesterday. So the next term is objectivity. Objectivity means you should actually base your judgment on a set of criteria. Means you should be, again, unbiased. You shouldn't be partial towards anyone. You should treat everybody equally. You shouldn't, when you're taking a decision, it shouldn't be out of your personal emotions or your feelings. Okay, and your decisions should be on the basis of facts alone. Okay, if somebody lies, this is how you are going to react. You have to be objective. You shouldn't base your decision just because that particular person is your relative or your cousin or your best friend. Nothing like that. So that is objectivity. Next is responsibility. Responsibility means while you are performing an act or a function, you should actually do it in a timely manner, and at the same time you are also answerable to your higher manager. Okay, so if they ask you a particular question, okay, why did this go wrong, you have to actually tell them, okay, what went wrong there and why it was out of your control. You have that responsibility. So these are the 4 principles. So basically I do tell them the keyword like PHFRO. P for principles, H for honesty, F for fairness, O for objectivity, and R for responsibility. So principles are honesty, fairness, objectivity, responsibility. So next is standards. There are again 4 standards, and my dear, you have to by heart these standards. So basically how they are going to test us, see, under every standard there will be 3 to 4 points. Okay, so they will give you questions, they will give you this particular statement. As a cost and management certified management accountant, you should perform professional duties in accordance with relevant laws, regulations, and technical standards. This is under which particular standard? And then you have to write, this is under the first standard, that is competence. You have to pick competence. So they will evaluate your knowledge like that. And at times, this might even come in the essay window, and also you will have to learn about, these are actually additional points. If they ask for the essay question, these are additional points that you can write. So the first one is so here we are actually going to talk about CCIC. These are our 4 standards. 4 standards: competence, confidentiality, integrity, credibility. Competence, confidentiality, integrity, credibility. So the first one, and you have to keep in mind, if you of this, okay, so that will lead to disciplinary actions. So you have to follow all these 4 standards. So P for principle, and the 4 principles are honesty, fairness, responsibility, objectivity. So the 4 standards are competence, CCIC, competence, confidentiality, integrity, credibility. So the first one, competence. So what is competence? Competence means, I mean, if I ask you guys, are you competent enough? So that means whether you have the required skill, you have the required knowledge, qualification, or capacity to fulfill a particular job. So competence is nothing else but that is your knowledge, your ability to do a particular job in a really effective manner. You should be able to do it very effectively. Competence means, see, if you are competent as a chartered accountant or as a certified management accountant, that doesn't mean you're going to be a competent lawyer. So competence means we have to acquire those skills. Okay, I might be good in something, I might not be good in something else. So for that, I have to learn new stuff. Only then I can be competent. So competent in one position does not mean you're going to be automatically competent in everything else. So in order to be competent, you have to update yourself. You have to learn. You have to learn the new laws. You have to learn the new regulations, the new accounting standards, the new requirements by IMA. You have to learn all these things if you have to remain competent. So the first one is competence. So all this, okay. So far we actually explained what is competence. Now IMA has mentioned that the members needs to have, see, as an IMA member, you need to follow these 3 things. The first one is maintain an appropriate level of professional leadership and expertise by enhancing knowledge and skills. That means IMA have mentioned that being a CMA, you have to update yourself. You have to learn. You have to update your expertise. How? By enhancing your knowledge. Means you have to learn again and again and again. You have to build, I mean, improve your skills. See, long ago, it was not necessary to know data analytics or data, I mean, these new age tools like Power BI or Tableau or Salesforce, all these things. But nowadays, if you want to be a successful auditor or an accountant, you need to know these tools as well, right? You need to know how to analyze data as well. Yeah, so, and you need to know in case if there is any change in the regulations or the laws or the taxation policies, you need to be updated with those as well. So the first point is that you need to maintain appropriate level of professional leadership and expertise as a CMA. So that can be enhanced by how? By enhancing your knowledge and skills. You have to by heart these points, okay? These 3 points, the most important ones are these 3 points. You have to by heart these 3 points. I'm not saying you have to by heart, at least have a clear understanding, because they will test that in multiple ways. Second, while you are performing your professional duties, you have to follow relevant laws, regulations, and technical standards of your industry. So if whatever rules and regulations are or standards are there in your industry, you have to follow those. Next, provide decision support information and recommendations that are accurate, clear, concise, and timely. Means you have to support, you have to, when the management is taking a particular decision, you have to support them. How? You will give them enough recommendations. You will actually give them the data that you have, the information that you have, okay, which is basically clear, error free, that is accurate, and it should be concise, not so, I mean, in depth, but concise, in crisp and clear. And whenever your hire manager or the concerned person requires a report or something, information, you will provide it on a timely manner as well. So, and the last point is you have to recognize and help in managing risk. So these are the 3 points that you have to keep in mind under the standard of competence. Okay. So I guess Sneha, your phone is on unmute. Sneha is still joining. Okay, not yet joined. So guys, is it clear? You can just send me a message through the chat window. I can see Arul Modi is online and Sounder is also online. So on behalf of everybody, you can just maybe just leave me a chat. Am I audible? Is it clear? Is it clear? Do you guys have any doubt? Yes. Okay, done. Okay. So, guys, if please do let me know. Okay, if you have any doubt, just leave me a message here in chat box. And yesterday, actually, Dure or and Sneha and all did send me a message through WhatsApp. So similarly, if you have any doubt, please feel free to drop me a WhatsApp message. Okay, even after the class or even at night or whenever you are studying, if you have any doubt, just leave me a WhatsApp message. I think that will be really helpful. So that I mean, you don't have to wait for the next class or such. So just let me know if you have any doubt. So that's all about competence. Now let's learn about the second standard, that is confidentiality. The second standard is confidentiality. Mm. So what is confidentiality? Confidentiality means you have to actually, one second, let me just, first of all, we will just understand what confidentiality is. Confidentiality means you have to safeguard information and not disclose anything to anyone who is not authorized to know it. Confidentiality means you have to keep it as a secret. If you're working for a particular company, you shouldn't be disclosing their facts or their data or such stuff to a third person. You have to keep it as a secret. How you ensure you are keeping something confidential? First, you shouldn't discuss those kind of confidential information in a public setup. Means while you're having coffee in Starbucks, you shouldn't be discussing about your company. You shouldn't be discussing about EY or what is happening there, what's happening between you and your supplier. You shouldn't be discussing that in a public setting. So that's the first point. Okay, because somebody else will overhear that. They will hear that, they might record that, and they will just misuse that. Second is, you should also check who is actually aware of confidential information in your company, because who has access to those confidential data and who does not have access. Because at times, certain people can actually sneak into your data and misuse it. So you have to constantly monitor if someone, I mean, if only relevant people have access to these particular data or not. So you have to ensure that that's not happening. Third, you have to refrain, means you have to stop discussing these confidential information with your family or your friends. Okay, work is work, personal life is personal. You have to keep it both separate. So you have to refrain from discussing these confidential information with your family or friends. Then what's the next one? Next, you have to use complex. I mean, robust means you have to, while creating these passwords and all that, you have to use a combination of numbers or alphabets and these symbols, all that, and keep changing your passwords as well. You have to protect your documents, and you should give permission only to authorized people. Next, your laptop computers, I mean, you should actually protect those laptop computers, because at times they can be removed from the company premises and then people might misuse those. So you should protect your laptop computer. So it's better you keep it in locked areas. Then, while you are outside, while you are having a coffee, it's better not to use the public Wi-Fi. It's always recommended that you go for personal Wi-Fi or internet connection, because there might be chances that your data might get leaked. Next, if something is not needed, if a particular document is not needed, delete it. Okay, don't keep it for so long. Okay, but ensure that it's not needed at all. You have to ensure that. Next, you have to be sure with the company's legal standards and information disclosures. You should know when you are allowed to disclose a particular information and when you are not allowed to, and what are the legal consequences of everything you do. You have to be aware. And then at times, if something is very confidential, it's better not to speak. I mean, you can use other, maybe I'm not so good at it. Maybe there might be instances where you can just show them a gesture, or then just show them like, okay, certain confidential information can be discussed through actions and all that rather than words. So you can do that as well. This is what IMA says. Okay, so as per IMA, confidentiality means there are 3 points. Just like how we learned competence, there are 3 points here. First one, you should keep confidential information. Okay, you should maintain confidentiality except when you have the authorization to talk about it, or when there is a legal requirement. There is no other option, and they have asked you to disclose because this is as a part of a legal inquiry or something. They have asked you to disclose. Then you can. So that is our first point. Second is you have to actually inform all relevant parties regarding appropriate use of confidential information. Means how to use these confidential information. You should inform everyone that you are not allowed to disclose these confidential data. So you have to ensure that. You have to also ensure that whoever has this confidential information does not misuse the same. They are following the rules and regulations of our company. And the third one is refrain from using confidential information for unethical or illegal advantage. You shouldn't use these confidential information for anything illegal or unethical. So these three are with regards to confidentiality. So first we learned competence. Second, confidentiality. Confidentiality means you have to protect the information and should not disclose anything to anybody who are not authorized to know about that. Okay, so if you are a CFO of a company and then you are going to make a new acquisition, then you should actually discuss about this acquisition. All okay, Arun Mori? Is everything okay? Huh? Yes. Okay, done. So you have to ensure that confidential information is kept to only those people who requires to know about that. So that's all about confidentiality. So can I move to the next one? Is it clear? Do you have any doubts, guys? So the next one, the third one. Third one is integrity. Integrity. Okay, the third one, integrity. So what is integrity? We learned yesterday what exactly is integrity. Integrity means we will stick to whatever we said. We are not going to change our word. One second. Okay, what is integrity? Integrity means we are going to firmly stick to our code of ethics, our actions. Okay, a particular person's action or a particular company's actions needs to be consistent with its principles and its values. Whatever they are saying, okay, we are going to do this, they have to stick to that. They shouldn't change their word. So if somebody makes compromises, okay, in matters of principle, then that means he has no integrity. Depending on the situation, like in Kerala, we do have a reptile. I don't know what you call in your place. There's a reptile that changes its color. So we do say that certain people's opinion change like that. In minutes, they will change. So if they do like that, that means they don't have integrity. So if a particular company has integrity, that means they are never going to compromise on their core values. So there are few suggestions which we learned in the last unit as well. So how can you improve your integrity? First, you have to reject gifts. If somebody is giving you any gift or favors or anything, reject it. Because if you accept it now, then in future you might have to give them some sort of assistance, or you might feel obliged to them. So you should reject all gifts. Second, if there is going to be, see, again, the point is integrity. The standard is integrity. So definitely we are going to talk about conflict of interest, because even yesterday we discussed whenever it's about integrity, it's also about conflict of interest. So in case we are going to have some sort of conflict of interest in any given scenario, you have to avoid that. A person who has conflict of interest, he has to avoid himself. Yesterday we learned avoidance. They have to just remove themselves then from that particular scenario and don't take decisions. So that's the second thing. Third, if most of us actually communicate when something is good, and whenever something goes bad, we don't communicate. We don't tell our parents or even our close friends or even our class teachers. We don't. But you shouldn't do that. You have to tell them when there is a good news as well as a bad news. That's the third point. Then An organization's integrity is totally dependent on the values of that particular organization and its unwillingness, because certain companies will not deviate no matter what, no matter how much pressure the shareholders are putting on them. They will not deviate, they will stick to their values. For example, see, once Dure becomes a CFO, okay, so Dure will stick to his word. Dure is not going to change, right? No matter who is there in front of him. It might be the PM, it can be the CM, it can be a CFO of another company, it can be a major supplier, it can be Unilever, no matter who. If you have a particular principle or a value, you will stick to that. That is known as integrity. So while we talk about integrity, there are also certain other points. Okay, first and foremost, we have to follow all the required laws and regulations of our company, of our industry, or the laid down by the government. Second, we should not actually harm our customer, our clients, or our employees or competitors, or even deceive them or misinterpret our products, or pressurize anybody. Pressurizing is not as coercion, so we shouldn't do any of that. We shouldn't harm our customers as well. Okay, by our products shouldn't cause any sort of harm to the customers as well, so we have to keep this in mind. Now let's go to those 4 points which falls under integrity. First one, you have to avoid conflict of interest. Always keep in mind, whenever it's about integrity, we are actually going to mention conflict of interest. So we have to reduce conflict of interest. You have to come, in case if there's going to be ever a situation where you might have to compromise, then you have to inform prior. You have to communicate with the business, okay, so that you can avoid that conflict of interest. You have to inform, advise everybody in case there's going to be a conflict of interest. Second, refrain from engaging in any conduct that would prejudice carrying out duties ethically. Means refrain, don't do. Okay, if your supplier is offering you a gift, or they are telling you, okay, let's go for a paid holiday, if anything such as such happens, don't do that, don't accept that. Right away, reject those. Third, abstain from engaging in or supporting any activity that might, so see, this is a very important point, that might discredit your profession, because sometimes you might make a mistake and you might pick the wrong answer. This falls under integrity. This is not competence, this is not credibility, but this is integrity. You shouldn't do anything that is going to discredit your profession of being a certified management accountant. Your profession, your profession's name, your profession's reputation is very important for you. And lastly, you have to ensure, you have to contribute towards building a very positive culture in your company, and you have to put the integrity of your profession above your personal interest. Okay, it's not about your personal interest, but it's more about your profession's interest. So you have to keep these 4 points in your mind. So first we learned credibility. Second, we learned confidentiality. Third, integrity. Okay, and now the last one. Sorry, first was not credibility, my days. First was competence. Competence, confidentiality, integrity, and the last one is credibility. So now let's learn about credibility. So what is credibility? Credibility is the value, okay, the quality of being believable and trustworthy. We should be believable. We should be trustworthy. People should be able to trust us. Credibility means, see, in order to be credible in future, if Anusha has to be a very credible CMA professional, for that Anusha needs to have enough knowledge. Anusha needs to have enough competence. So for credibility, you have to maintain competence. Means you have to update yourself. You have to learn about the profession. You have to learn about the changes that's happening. You have to update yourself. Only then you can do things believably, or people will trust you. If you don't know anything, if you are making mistakes, if whatever accounts you are actually checking, or whatever statements that you're preparing, it's all wrong, that means you don't have the competence. That means you don't know anything. So without competence, which is another standard, CCIC, the first standard was competence. So without competence, you cannot be credible. So there are These two standards are actually connected. That's why I told you while I was teaching here, I told I will talk about this particular paragraph later on. There was a particular statement here. Now let's just go back to that particular statement and I'll explain why. See here, right before principles, there was a statement. See, there are certain standards, principles and standards sometimes overlaps. You can use similar examples for more than one principle or a standard. For example, standard of competence means you should have enough knowledge, skill sets, qualification and capacity to do a particular job effectively. But in order to be credible, you need to have competence. Okay, credibility means it is the quality of being believable and trustworthy. If you have to be believable and trustworthy, it will require competence. So these two standards are interrelated. So if credibility is an issue in a given situation, then that particular person may not be competent. That particular person may not have competence. So whenever you are talking about credibility, also ensure you are mentioning competence. So certain standards are actually overlapping. Guys, is it clear? Did you understand this particular part? Did you understand? Okay. No, ma'am. No. Okay. Oh. Okay. Thank you, Durai. Thank you. Next. So, okay. Now let's. Okay. Once again. Okay. So the next point. Credibility also means you actually update your higher management regularly on the projects that you're handling. You have to keep them updated. You have to tell them what's happening. Tell them about the good news as well as the bad news. Don't omit anything. Okay, whatever is happening, please do tell them honestly. If you tell them everything honestly, that's when they are going to trust you. Okay, that's when they are going to trust you. If you hide things, then people won't trust you. Even if you make a mistake, please do tell them. Because if once upon a time, we actually do, one of my tasks was to make catalogs. Just a second, I'll show you something. So when you go to these supermarkets and all that, you might have seen these kind of catalogs. Have you seen these kind of catalogs with product details, pricing, all this? You might have definitely seen when you go to Lulu or V-Mart, all these places, anywhere. Okay, you might see these catalogs. So always, I used to be the one responsible for creating these catalogs, the pricing, promotions, those part. So the problem here is if you make a mistake, okay, if you put a wrong product, for instance, I put this particular product here, and this product is not in our store at all. We are not selling this product. You know how the customers in UAE, in Kerala, it's a different story. They will not bother. They will, if I tell them, oh, this is out of stock, we don't sell it, people will understand. It's easy to handle them. But in UAE, those Arab customers will literally kill you. They'll be like, oh, if you don't have this product, then why did you put this on your catalog? They will not allow you to speak a word. They will not, and they will ask for this particular product specifically. They will be like, if you have put it, otherwise they can go to consumer court, and then we are screwed. It's our mistake, right? So we will be liable. So once I did such a mistake, okay, what happened? All okay? Sorry. Audible? Okay. So once what happened is basically I actually mentioned a wrong product. Okay, the product was wrong. And then what happened is later on during our second edition, I had to correct it. So I went to our general manager. I told him, sir, I made this kind of a mistake here. This is my mistake. So, and then he gave me the approval and then we corrected it. So the thing is, whenever you are making a mistake, okay, even see, it's very, all of us do love to get appreciated. However, we all get scared when we make a mistake, but you shouldn't be. So when you are making if a mistake happens or if something goes wrong, you should actually go and tell them, sir, I made a mistake. So if you say that, they will trust you more. That means you are more credible. Next, you have to disclose to the management Any professional limitations, means if anything is going to actually come in between your performance, or okay, for example, you don't know how to do a particular task, you have to tell them, sir, I'm not able to do this because I don't know how to do this. You have to tell them the truth. And if you're not able to perform a task as expected, you have to tell everybody concerned, you have to let them know that you are not able to do it, rather than just hiding the fact and then just um, spending days behind it. Don't do that. Instead, seek help. You have to tell them that I don't know. See, never ever be scared or afraid to say I don't know. Are you scared to say I don't know? Are you guys scared? If somebody asks a question and you don't know, do you get scared to say I don't know? Huh? Don't be. There's not. Don't be. I understand why you. Yes, because obviously we all might get scared, but don't be. Because see, whenever the problem is, whenever it's not a problem. You raised your hand, dear. That's a good thing. So whenever I realize that we don't know something, that means we are actually creating the space to learn something new. There are certain people that you can't educate. You can tell them this is wrong or this is right, but they will not believe you. They will say, okay, I'm right, no matter what, I'm always right. Those people are really problematic. But whenever you say you don't know something, that means you are actually creating a space to learn something new. So always be curious. If you don't know something, say that I don't know. And then learn that. Okay. So if you're not able to do a particular project really well, tell them. Next, you have to gather all the relevant facts and information through analysis, okay, before you do a particular task. And lastly, definitely there's going to be risk involved. So you have to be prepared. You have to assess those risks on time as well. So these are under the last point, credibility. Now let's learn what are those things that being an IMA member, you guys have to keep in mind when it comes to credibility. See, let me say this again. You have to by heart these 4 points, okay? Credibility, these 4 points, and confidentiality, those 3 points. Those points you have to by heart. And explanation, whatever I explained now, that is actually for essay question. If sometimes they might ask you scenario based questions from those part, okay? So credibility, the first point is you have to communicate fairly and objectively. Means you have to communicate everything honestly and without any bias. So that's the first point. Second, you have to provide all relevant information that could reasonably be expected. Means if somebody asks you a particular question, you're working on a particular project and one other team member joins you guys, okay? A new lady joins in your team. And then she is asking for your help. She is asking you certain questions about this particular project. So in that case, you have to tell her everything, whatever you know about this project, whatever is relevant to her, whatever is going to help her in doing that particular thing. You have to explain, you have to tell her, don't hide anything, okay? So that she will have a better understanding of the reports or the situation. Third, in case there is any deficiency, means any delay or some kind of shortfall in information or time or in processing or even the internal control, if there is any delay, you have to actually report those. Don't keep it just to yourself. Don't keep it in your mind. You have to report those delays or deficiencies. Lastly, you have to communicate in case if you don't know something. You might have some professional limitation, right? So these limitations, whatever you have, that might actually affect your judgment. Please communicate. You have to tell them, I don't know. I don't know how to do this analysis. Unless I know this, I might not be able to do it well. So you have to tell them. This is about credibility. So these are the 4 standards. Okay, let's just quickly revise. We learned 4 principles: honesty, fairness, objectivity, responsibility. HFRO. And then the standards. The first one was competence. Guys, please by heart these points, okay? Learn these standards and principles really well. So under that, under the first one, competence, you have to enhance your skill sets. You have to continuously learn. You have to enhance your knowledge. Second, you have to perform your professional duties in laws and regulations. And third, provide support, okay, provide information support, recommendations, those which are accurate, clear, concise. And then the second one was confidentiality. You have to keep the information confidential unless it is required by law. Unless by law somebody says, okay, unless there is a legal requirement, you have to disclose by a legal requirement. Legal requirement is there, and then you have to disclose that. Otherwise, no, don't. Second, inform guys. Yesterday we learned two things. You can break confidentiality only when there is a legal requirement or when there is a misrepresentation happening. Otherwise, don't. Third one, you have to inform all the relevant parties about how to use these confidential information. Third, don't use these confidential information for anything unethical. And the third standard is integrity. Under integrity, of course, the first point is conflict of interest. You have to reduce conflict of interest. Second, refrain. Don't do anything that is actually going to basically going to end up unethical. So don't do anything like that. Third is whatever is going to discredit your profession, don't do that. And lastly, you have to maintain the culture, and you have to place integrity of your profession above your personal interest. Next, fourth one was credibility. So under credibility, the first one is you have to communicate your information very fairly and objectively, and then provide all the relevant information that could actually influence an intended user's understanding. Means if somebody is using that information for preparing a report or something, whatever you know about that particular incident, you have to tell them. Third, report any, in case there is going to be any delay or deficiency in anything, okay, be it internal control, be it in time, be it in your knowledge, please do tell them. Lastly, whatever limitation you have that is actually coming in between, that is basically like a hindrance in performing a particular activity, you have to tell. Don't keep it to yourself. You have to inform that I don't know. Okay, that's all about credibility. Guys, clear? Is it all clear? Fine, huh? Okay. I'm happy that today there's literally no much technical issues. Can we? Of course, you can take. Anusha, I was about to give you a break, Anusha. Don't worry, Anusha. I'll give you, you need 10 minutes? Okay, done. Yes, please proceed. We will, till by 4. You can be back by, no, 3:58. Exact 10 minutes break. We are punctual, guys, right? So 3:58. Yes, you can take a break.
No photo anywhere. What happened to other people?
Okay, so guys, so now I guess, okay, so all are here, right? Nobody's missing, no? All are here? Fine, right? Shall I start? Okay. Okay. So I was actually talking about you guys to one of my friend yesterday, and I genuinely told him what I felt. I mean, see, there's a very clear difference between the students that I'm used to here in Kerala and you guys. There's a You guys are very different. Maybe because you're my first batch outside Kerala, maybe that's why. But you guys are very different from the students here in Kerala. You know, the way they are in classes. I told him, and he told me the same thing. He is also a faculty. So I told him, you guys are actually very pleasant to deal with. You guys always sit there with a smile, happy. But here it's not like that. Here, I shouldn't be saying that about my own students, but then, you know, the students, they are they are a bit cunning here and there, a few of them, but you guys are not like that. I don't know how come there is so much difference between two states, students of two states. So when I told him, he said the same thing. He said, yes, you're absolutely right. So I actually feel happy teaching you guys because you guys are happy. And then yeah, very, you know, in Malayalam we say pavam. Pavam means sadhu types, you know, nice, well behaved kids. You guys are like that. So yeah. So whenever you show like this, so again, yeah, I feel I feel much more happier teaching you guys. So let's start with the next topic: resolving ethical issues. So in case of an ethical issue, how are you going to resolve that? This is a very important part. Okay, this there are a few steps, not specifically steps, but you have to be a bit careful. But it's very easy. So first and foremost, in case if in your company you have certain ethical issues, don't ignore them. But you should actually look for resolutions. You should look for ways to solve them. In case there's an ethical issue, see these steps. Okay, these are very important, guys. These are very important ones. So in case there seems to be an ethical issue in your company, what do you have to do? First, you have to follow the policies of your organization. Okay, this is very important. This is very important. This all these 4 5 steps, very much important. So first, you have to follow the ethical policies of your company. What are the code of conduct? What have your what they have instructed you? How should you behave? So you have to follow the policies and procedures of your company. Okay. In case there is any anonymous reporting, in case there is any whistleblower system, you have to follow that first. And if your organization do not have any policies, then first you should talk to your higher manager, because your manager, okay, your immediate manager, you have to talk to him. And if your manager is involved, if that guy itself is involved in this, then you have to talk to the next level manager. For example, if Anusha is Arulmozhi's manager, okay, Arulmozhi will go and talk to Anusha first. And if Anusha is also involved in this particular case, then Arulmozhi should talk to Santosh, who is Anusha's manager. Okay, so you have to do like that. So, for example, if you have a problem, you will talk to your class leader. If your class leader is also involved, you will talk to your class teacher, right? If the class teacher is involved, you will go and talk to your department head. So, likewise. So, if the manager, if you have to talk to your immediate supervisor, if that person is involved, you have to go and then talk to the next level. And If these two, there's also other way. You can actually use IMA's anonymous helpline number. There's a number plus it's an American number. I don't know by heart. It's a plus 14 something like that. So it's an American number. You can just contact them, and then they will not tell you what to do, but they will say, as per IMA standard, this is what IMA says. They will just say that. Okay, whatever is an IMA standard, they will just explain those. They will not give you any solution. They will not tell you you should do this, you should do that. They will not give you recommendations. However, they will just help you understand the situation better. They will help you understand whether it's your mistake, it's whether, I mean, they will give you a clarity on the statements provided by IMA. Next, you can consult attorney. Means there will be legal people involved in your company, right? There will be those are known as attorneys in USA. Okay, so you can actually talk to your attorney. Okay, and then after all that, if nothing works for you, then the last option is leave that company. Just leave that particular company. Okay, so first you have to talk to your, first and foremost, look for the organization's policies and procedures. And if the organization has a particular whistleblower system or an anonymous number, you can contact that. Second, you have to, okay, if that doesn't exist, if you don't have those kind of a policy or a procedure, first you can actually talk to your supervisor. If your supervisor is also involved, one second, what happened, Manusha? Attorney, law, legal people, legal, law enforcement people. Okay, law enforcement. Attorney means law. Is it clear? Done. Law enforcement, the ones who implement the laws. Okay, they will handle these kind of civil cases, crimes, those kind of things. They basically represents the, see, they will give you legal advices. Those are known as attorneys. So like in India, we have prosecutors in India, right? Prosecutors, lawyers. Similarly in USA, we call them attorney. Clear? Fine. Done. Okay. So what do? First, you will follow the policies and procedures of your organization. And if there is a particular contact number anonymously where you can anonymously call and report, you will do that. And if there's no such policies and procedure in your particular company, first you will contact your immediate supervisor. If he is involved, then you will contact the next level. And if you need any support from IMA, you need to understand the standards better. You will contact IMA, and then the next option will be you can even contact an attorney. Okay, in case, see, if for what you will contact attorney for understanding the risk with, in this particular case, the legal obligations. Okay, that's why he will come into picture. You can ask them. And then lastly, if nothing works, disassociate, leave that company. If nothing works, leave that company. Okay, so this is how you resolve an ethical issue in your company. This is very important. Is it clear? If it's clear, can you please raise your hand? Is it clear? Shall I go to the next topic? Okay, thank you. Done. So the next is again a very important topic: employee fraud and fraud triangle. So obviously, in a company, people are, I mean, not in every company, but in most of these companies, basically, people do fraudulent activities, right? People do fraudulent activities. So here, we are actually talking about a framework that is developed by a person known as Donald Cressy. Okay, so he actually developed a theory saying why people steal or why people do these kinds of fraudulent activities. Okay, this was actually mentioned in his book that's known as Other People's Money. In his theory, later on, which became very famous, and then that theory is known as fraud triangle. He identified three conditions. Conditions should be present in order for a particular human being, for an employee to do something fraudulent. Okay, so the first three conditions are known as three legs of the fraud chair. Just imagine this as a chair, okay, with three legs. If the first leg is pressure, second leg is opportunity, and here there's a third leg. Oh, I don't know. Oh, yeah, like this. The third leg, whatever. Three legs. The third leg. So the third leg is known as rationalization. So the first is pressure. Unless there is a pressure, nobody is going to do anything fraudulent, right? For example, Sounder will not do anything fraud unless and until either the CFO gives him some sort of pressure, or Sounder is in some sort of financial trouble. Other than that, Sounder is definitely not going to do anything fraudulent. Do you think Sounder will do something wrong? He will not. He will be very much happy with the 10 lakhs a month, right? And he will be living a very happy life. So, if somebody has to do something fraudulent, first and foremost, pressure needs to exist there. Pressure can be, it can be a financial problem. Sometimes it's too many bills, too many, sometimes, okay, certain people have addiction. Like they will drink, they will smoke cigarettes, all that, and then they spend so much, and they won't be able to manage their money. So they might end up in a financial situation, okay? They have their expectations, their expenses are much more than their income. So that's the first thing. Second is, so in this case, they have so much financial burden that their regular income cannot solve this particular problem. Regular income is monthly, he is getting only 20,000 rupees, and his expenditure is approximately 40,000 rupees. Can this particular guy X survive? No, he cannot. So in order to survive, he will do something fraudulent. He will cheat, he will take money, he will do something like that. Second, there needs to be an opportunity. If the company doesn't give you any opportunity, okay, there is no way you can do something fraud here. There are too many internal controls, and if you do something wrong, they are going to catch you. There is no option. So there is no opportunity. So that's the second option. Third, rationalization. You feel like, yeah, I did it because it was required. I was short of money. I am not paid well. And I guess we discussed about Lucky Bhaskar, right? I guess you guys have seen the movie Lucky Bhaskar, right? Dulquer Salman, Lucky Bhaskar. Yes, a few have. So in Lucky Bhaskar, basically Dulquer Salman steals money from the vault, and then in the next day, I mean by the next day, he puts it back. So in that case, Dulquer Salman can say like, "Oh, I just took the money for a day, only for overnight, and then I just put it back." I mean, he can say like that. For him, that might sense logical. For in his perspective, that is just fine. You're just keeping the money there. I just took it. It's basically like borrowing. But no, it's not borrowing, it's stealing. So rationalization means you might feel like, oh, it's just acceptable. That's perfectly fine. That's justifiable. If you think like that, that's rationalization. So sometimes people justify their crimes. That is known as rationalization. So that rationalization needs to be there. If people can think it's just absolutely normal, then they will do. Sometimes employees think like, oh, I'm just borrowing money. I'll just put it back. Okay. And then, oh, I'm doing this because I'm underpaid. They are not giving me enough salary. That's why I did this. Or sometimes they say like, the amount of money, okay, it's just 10,000 rupees. My management doesn't care about 10,000 rupees. They are making 10,000 rupees in a second. So why would they care? Or sometimes they will feel like, oh, my employer itself, this particular company itself is dishonest. This particular company itself is, illegal, unethical. So they deserve this kind of a dishonesty from my end. So they will feel like that. So for somebody to do a fraudulent action like this, as per Donald Darkressy, there needs to be three sort of conditions. First one is there needs to be pressure. There needs to be an opportunity to do those kind of a fraudulent activity. And third, he or she should be able to rationalize it, saying, oh, that's fine. There's nothing wrong. That's fine. So that is rationalization. Now, Cressy said, we can reduce the chances of this sort of a fraudulent activity by removing at least one of these chairs, one of these legs, not chair, leg. If you cut one of these leg, you can reduce. If you remove the pressure, then he has only opportunity and then rationalization. There's no pressure, so he will not do something like that. Second, if you don't give him an opportunity and there is no pressure, he would not do anything fraudulent. If that particular guy has pressure, there is an opportunity, but that guy doesn't rationalize. He understands this is going to be a theft. He doesn't rationalize. He knows that's not right. He is very ethical. In that case, again, he is not going to do. So we have to cut at least one of these legs. So employees, so how can we do that? First and foremost, we should make employees should be made to feel that if there is any problem, you can just come and talk to me. I'll be there for you always. I'm not going to judge you. If you have any problem, just come and talk to me. That's the first thing. Second, in the employer, I mean the employees should have the space to come and complain as well if they have any grievances, like if they have any complaints, okay, they're not happy with something, we should give them the space to come and talk to us. Third, we employers should be actually ethical. We should set the tone at the top. We should we should be ethical in whatever we do. We shouldn't be cooking the books. Cooking the books means making fraudulent financial statements. Shouldn't do anything like that. We shouldn't, in every company, there are internal controls. Okay. Controls means rules and regulations or do's and don'ts. We will learn this in detail later on. So in every company, there are internal controls and we shouldn't, being the top management, we shouldn't break that. If there is, okay, if they say you have to be on time, punctuality is important. Even the top management has to be there on time. Okay. So the third one is employers should set the tone. So what's the fourth one? In case of these kind of fraudulent activities in a particular company, there should be a toll-free number, a whistleblower, an option to call and then report this particular thing. So if we report, okay, people will get scared and they will not do, okay, because we might get caught, right? So there needs to be a hotline number as per Sarbanes-Oxley that gives the employees in our company an opportunity to report if something goes wrong in our company. Just knowing that, okay, they might have, see, if you do something wrong, okay, if in your campus, one second. If you do something wrong in your campus, you know that your class teacher or your head of departments or someone from your college is going to call your home and tell them, right? Tell your parents. Does that happen? If you do something wrong, your college will call your parents, right? And then they will inform them, no? So you might get scared. So when there is that kind of an atmosphere, the understanding that they might call your parents itself scares you. Itself will, you won't do anything wrong. If you do, your parents will be aware. They will call my home. So you have that kind of fear somewhere. So similarly, if there is a hotline, that itself will make the people behave better. The next point is management. We should have a strong control environment. Means if anything fraudulent is going to happen, we should be able to prevent those. We should be able to detect those prior, and we should be able to deter those. Determines we shouldn't allow those kind of fraudulent activities. There shouldn't be any sort of opportunity. So what is a control environment? Control environment means in our company, we should have an audit committee. Okay, audit committee means they will come and properly audit your operations or your financial statements. They will regularly audit to check if there are any discrepancies. They will evaluate, they will monitor the controls of the company as well. Second, the annual risk assessment. That means any fraudulent risk, fraudulent activity, any sort of risk needs to be identified first. Annually, they are going to check that. Not even just annually, sometimes in between as well, they will check that. Third, the hotline number, the whistleblower number is not just for your employees. There should be a whistleblower number for your customers and for your suppliers as well. If you do something wrong, then your supplier will call. You ask your supplier, okay, if you give me 10,000 rupees, sorry, if you give me 10 lakh commission, I'll give you an order worth 1 crore this month. If you say like that, there should be a law or hotline number, and your supplier should be able to call your higher manager and say, hi, Durai asked for 10 lakh rupees bribe. And then Durai will be screwed. So he won't do anything like that. So there needs to be a hotline number in which even the supplier or the customers can report. Next, we need to have a proper anti-fraud policy. Means how you should behave. There should be proper training sessions. And then if there is any improper conduct, any fraudulent activity that happened in your company, you should be able to call and inform. Next, a written policy. In case if some sort of fraudulent activity has been reported in your company, then how are you going to investigate those? And how are you going to solve those? In that regard as well, you need to have a proper written policy. So control environment means you need to have an audit committee. There needs to be an annual risk assessment, assessing all the fraud risk associated. There needs to be a hotline number available for your vendors as well as your customers. Next, a written anti-fraud policy so that people can come and report in case there is any fraudulent activity. And lastly, in case those sort of fraudulent activities have been reported, then how are you going to investigate those? How are you going to resolve those? There needs to be a written policy as well. Guys, this unit is done. Is it clear? Okay, yes. So now let's go to the questions. Just a second. Oh, I'm actually very much happy today. Yesterday, my mood was literally screwed after that class. I was thinking, how am I going to do this online? Because it got disconnected n number of times. I was so upset for the whole night, thinking, okay, if that happens again today, then what am I going to do? Luckily, it all went fine. Thank God. So, let's go to our questions. So today, how are you going to send me the answers? Will you put in chat, wherever you can leave a message? There's not many questions, just a few questions here and there. And what is this? Oh, yesterday's. Oof. So guys, 40 questions from this unit, okay? 40. Okay, the first one. A typical code of ethical conduct. I hope you can read it. Please do speed up a bit, huh? Because 40 questions. Oh, you can't see. One second. Done. Sorting. Just a second. Yeah. So the question is, a typical code of ethical conduct for accounting and financial management professionals in an organization requires all of the following except integrity and refusal to compromise professional values, subjectivity in representing information, independence from conflicts of economic interest, independence from conflict of professional interest. If you give me the right answer, I'll give you a chocolate. Who said this? Soundar, I'll kill you. D. There is a particular word that is wrong. One word. Let me see what Anusha said. Okay. Why B, Anusha? Why? Yes. Subjectivity in presenting information. Why did you say B? Why B? Give me the reason. No laugh. Give me the reason. Why? There's a particular word that's wrong there. One word. A particular word that's wrong. Subjectivity. You should be subjective, or what's the right word? Objective. Okay? Objective. It's mentioned here. Subjectivity. You shouldn't be subjective. You should be objective. Free from bias is objective. Is it clear? 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 Okay, done. So the next one. So see, here subjectivity. No. Okay, subjective. You shouldn't select and prepare your reports. You should pick everything. Subjective. No. So the next one. According to IMA, what is objectivity? Waiting for your answers, guys. I'm waiting. Santosh. Okay, C. Okay, Sounder said C. Okay, what about others? The girls. I got 2 C's. Okay. Basically, whatever you have answered is wrong. See? So, objectivity means, see, this particular answer, C, acting in an impartial manner is a definition of, this is C. So, that is a definition of fairness. Okay? That's why I said you have to learn the explanations really well. Look at the words. Bias, dishonesty, injustice. My God, that's fairness, right? So the answer is D. D. Okay, D means objectivity. Okay, Sneha, that's okay, Sneha. So the answer is you should base your judgment on a set of criteria. I told you, if this particular person comes late, then he or she will be out of my class. So that is objectivity. Criteria here is he or she should be late. If he or she is late, out of the class. So that's the answer. Okay, clear? Clear? Okay, done. Next. What is honesty? Honesty. Okay, Sneha replied D. What about the rest? Actually, the last bench that I can't see her. Is it Charulata? The face is not at all clear. Yeah? Navanita? C. Okay. So Santosh said C. Arul Modi said C. She's Rakshita. Okay. First day. She was there before. She was there before as well. Were you before? This is actually very difficult. I mean, you guys have to text me everything. I can understand your pain, Dure. She was absent yesterday. Okay. Fine. Okay, done. So, what's the answer? So here, honesty. What is honesty? Anusha said C. Sneha said Sneha. Is it D? See here, guys, you have to stick to the explanation that's given in our textbook, okay? Don't think logically, okay? Here, fairness, straightforward, being upright, integrity, being truthful, okay, frank, don't do anything deceitful. See, don't, here, you have to actually think from our study materials perspective. You don't get confused at all. That's why I said you have to learn those explanations and those keywords, whatever is given in our hawk. You have to be very clear with those, okay? Don't get confused. Next one. What is fairness? See, this you have to Give me the right answer because we just explained. What is fairness? Fair, fair, fair. What's fairness? B. Sounder said B. Okay. What about you, Anusha, Sneha? Durai said B. Okay. Arun Muri B. Oh, Santosh D. Anusha B. Okay, Sneha B. Okay, done. Okay. So the right answer is, of course, B. Acting in an impartial manner. And I guess somebody said D. Okay, Santosh. That is not D. D means that's credibility, right? Fairly and objectively. See, that is actually credibility. That's under the standard credibility. Okay, here the question was about fairness. Fairness is a principle. Okay, so don't get confused. Okay, fairness is a principle. Santosh, is it clear? Fine. Okay, yeah, fine. Next, responsibility. What is responsibility? Responsibility. You have to give me the right answer this time. You have to give me the right answer. This is very easy. Responsibility. Come on, Sneha. Sneha is typing I. B. Sneha. Okay. Yes. Sounder. Yes. Santosh. Anusha, Sneha, Arun Muri. Come on. Rakshita. Come on, Rakshita. Try. Okay. A. Sneha said yes. Okay. Durai. Yes. Perfectly fine. Yes. Responsibility means performing. So see, you have to by heart somehow clearly understand those standards and those principles, and you have to by heart those. Okay, they might even come up for your essay question. So today I'll give you a task. You have to go home. I have already shared the notes with a few of you, and it's also with Srirak sir. In case if you didn't get it, the same PDF is with him as well. I have sent it over to him as well. So tomorrow, when you come back to the class, you have to learn those principles and standards. Okay? Will you? Okay. Done. So the next question. Oh my God. Elite Running Limited has recently implemented a new evaluation process that bases bonuses primarily on variance between budgeted and actual cost of cost centers. Individuals with budgeted to actual variances in excess of 20% will receive no bonus. Richard Baines oversees one cost center of Elite and is concerned that his bonus will be adversely impacted. He has a strong personal relationship with the controller, who's responsible for developing, reviewing, and approving budgets. He has asked the controller to accept his budget with estimated cost higher than would be reasonably expected for the next fiscal year. In appreciation for accepting these inflated costs, Baines offered the controller season tickets to the spot of his choice. Which of the following standards of IMA, Statement of Ethical Professional Practice, is relevant? Integrity, if the controller accepts the tickets, because acceptance would prejudice his ability to carry out duty. Competence, if the controller accepts the ticket, because he has not performed his duties with the established laws. Confidentiality, if the controller fails to report the incident to the audit committee. Credibility, if the controller shares Baines' offer with another member. Okay. Sneha was very quick. Sneha said A. Okay, here Arun Mori A. Already. Hey, you all. Okay. I was taking time. Durai A. Okay, Sounder A. Okay, guys. Okay, guys. So the right answer is indeed A. Integrity. So I'm happy that you guys actually answered it well, because this is actually basically that kind of made me understand that you have understood the difference between these standards. So yes, you are all right. Yes, Santosh. Yes, everyone. You guys are all right. So the next question. A manufacturing entity located in a sparsely populated region of the country has a policy. So A, B, C, D. Come on, come on, come on. Oh, 10 question is enough. I'll leave you, Arulmuri, don't worry. I'll leave you at sharp 4:35. 4:45. 4:45, we will end it. Don't worry. 10 question is enough. For IMA, you will not pass, Arulmuri. We have to pass with 480 marks, right? Not 10. You have to practice everything. So which one? Come on, boys. Come on, girls. Rakshita, try Rakshita. It's okay. Sounder said C. Okay. Oh, he is just too intelligent. What about others? Is he right? Or I was just confusing him? What do you think? Come on, Sneha. Come on, Anusha. Come on. Okay, Sneha will hit you. B. It's B. Is it B, Sneha? C. Who said this? Okay, Durai said C. Okay. Durai said C. Okay, so yes, here the problem is actually the doors are open, guys. So they can easily commit fraud. The opportunity exists. See here where raw material inventory, doors open. The doors are open. There's no lock, nothing. So anyone can come and take it. So there is opportunity. Okay, so you guys are right. Next. Oh, 10 question. Oh, Arul Modi, you are exactly right. By 10, by the time we complete 10 questions, it will be 4:45. You are very much, your forecast was on, perfectly right. So the next question. An accountant asked his supervisor about a classification of a large account receivable that was outstanding for a year, but is still being reported as a current asset. The supervisor explained that the balance related to the local vendor who had been having temporary cash flow issues. Supervisor knows the vendor personally and is confident that he will pay the balance eventually. The accountant has instructed to keep the asset classification as is to avoid questions from the external auditor. In accordance with IMA's statement of ethical professional practice, the supervisor violated all of the above except. Come on, guys. Come on, da. Which one? Sounder, don't break my heart. See? Credibility. Accept. Durai strikes again and Durai has responded with a D. Sneha, D. Anusha, kya hua? Come on, Anusha, which one? Santosh, Rakshita, Arunmodi, come on. Santosh, okay, D. Okay. Yes, you guys are absolutely right. He has not broken confidentiality. Other than that, he has done it all. See here, confidentiality, he didn't keep, he didn't disclose this to anybody. Integrity, of course, yes, he did. Of course, he had some sort of conflict of interest there. So integrity was compromised. And competence, because he has to follow the standards, he has to follow the rules and regulations, which he didn't. And obviously, credibility as well. The next question. A company has December 31 year end. Which of the following options? Come on. Now use your brain. Logic, your brain. Let me see. Let me see who's the most intelligent one here. Come on. Sneha, Anisha, come on. Sneha is as if she is on an auction table during IPL auction and all. You just wait, no, to raise the card and then give the right answer. Similarly, Sneha is always like this. With the phones ready, always like this. Yes. Which one? Okay. So, I didn't get any answer, no? Which one? Which one? Santosh. Come on, Santosh. Soundar. Sneha. Oh, Sneha. Think again. Think again. Durai. A. No. No. Least likely means there is one such thing here which is not. Okay, Arun spoke. Okay, no worries, no worries. That's fine. That's fine. One of these is actually not a violation. Which one is that? One of those is not a violation. Which one is? Okay, Soundar. Exactly. I told you, Soundar is a very intelligent guy. Yes, he is absolutely right. See here, planned marketing. See, oof, one sec. See, you can actually postpone your expenditure until January. Just postpone that. That's perfectly fine. You're not violating any rule there. So you can postpone the expenditure. But the other points, see the first one, persuade to bill. Okay, please, you give me the item this month, bill next month. No, that is a violation. Delay the closing, violation. Reduce the calculated, put it as a credit allowance, losses, no, again a violation. But you can postpone. Instead of spending expenditures on marketing this month, you just spend it next month. That's fine. You're not going to spend this month. That's perfectly fine. Last question for the day. Mark Tian. Which one? Okay, Anusha said B. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Go to your company's independent auditor and confidentially tell him this is what happened in my company. You're right. I'll kill you. No. Sounder, Sounder, you broke my heart, Sounder. No, Sounder. To legal counsel. See here, what is the concern here? He is aware that the funds have been diverted, okay, by his, okay, and the approvals were done by his immediate supervisor. So, as per the steps, okay, oh, okay, so Durai said C. No, 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 dear, no, 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 no. See, in this particular question, so what I understand, okay, any right answers? Nobody, nobody. Okay, all of you guys pick the wrong options here. See here. Oh, okay, Santosh. Santosh picked the right one. Yes, great job, Santosh. You are absolutely right. See here, the thing is, your next supervisor is involved. So if your supervisor is involved in some sort of fraudulent activity, you have to go to the next level supervisor. I told you, if your leader is involved, go to your class teacher, right? If class teacher is involved, go to your department head. So here, first you have to contact your next level supervisor, not the immediate supervisor is involved. So the next one. If there is no solution, then that's when you can call IMA. You can contact IMA's hotline number. And then if that doesn't work, then your legal counsel, okay? Then your attorney. And if nothing works, then you can leave, disassociate. Okay? Clear? Did you understand this one? Huh. Yeah, I know. Now it's time for you guys to go home. So you will raise your hands much more faster. I know. Okay, guys. So see you tomorrow. Same time. So please make it by 2:45, huh? 2:45, 2:50. Please come a bit early. Okay? So see you. Bye-bye. And take care. Bye. Bye. Bye.